Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, and I'm Shelby Clark with Primetime Local News. Thank you for joining us. 8 people who tested positive for COVID-19 have died. One of those was a person in the 50 to 59 age category from our Northwest zone. There are 10 new cases in our zone, with 213 new cases across the province. 1,680 cases are considered active province-wide, with 44 of those in our zone. 155 people are in hospital, including 6 in the Northwest. More than 160,000 vaccine doses have been administered in Saskatchewan, with over 13,000 doses given in our zone. After the Supreme Court of Canada found the carbon tax to be constitutional, agricultural groups are continuing to push for further exemptions in the egg industry. The ruling was no surprise to the Agricultural Producers Association of Saskatchewan, and APAS President Todd Lewis says this doesn't change the group's strategy moving forward.
It was a split decision, and we're disappointed, of course, but at the same time, there's some certainty around now that the carbon tax is here, and we've got to deal with it. And so negotiations will continue with both the province and at the federal level to try and get a better deal for Saskatchewan farmer and ranchers.
Farm fuel and grain drying have already been made exempt for producers, but APAS sees agriculture as a potential driver as Canada moves out of the pandemic, and more leniency would help the industry.
These costs that are being put on us by the carbon tax really come off our bottom line and will really affect our ability to make investments to improve our carbon footprint. So it's a position that needs to be better understood, and we'll just keep pushing it.
The federal government has promised to increase the carbon tax to $170 per ton by 2030. After the motion the Board of Trustees of Buffalo Trail Public Schools made to investigate the closure of Clandonald School, it is now made official. We spoke with a member of the Parent Council for more on the reaction. I'm joined here today with Leith Matthews for Primetime Local News. We're catching up since the official announcement of Clandonald School closing. Now, how did the meeting go on March 17th?
So on March 17th was the official meeting that was going to be the deciding factor whether Clandonald School was to continue or not. Unfortunately, at that meeting, that is where the trustees of the school board made their final vote in the complete closure of the Clandonald School, which will be done on June 30th of this school year.
And was there lots of family, friends, and community members that joined in this meeting to advocate for Clandonald School?
Yeah, so you definitely had the opportunity to speak. However, that had to be set up prior to the March 17th meeting. It was streamed live, that meeting, so anybody was able to tune into it. There was myself and another parent council member that was able to present and talk at that meeting as well. So yes, anybody was able to join that meeting. It was just through live streaming. Yeah.
And can you tell me how the meeting went that led up to the official decision?
Yeah, so, this whole process has been, I think, a huge eye-opener for our parent council. When you're going through a full closure versus partial, it's different. It's huge. I will say there was no outreach from any of the Buffalo Trails board central office. Pretty much, we were left to figure this out on our own, which is disappointing in a way. We didn't really expect to be kind of left in the dark or to have to kind of feel our way through this. So I think just disappointed in, genuinely disappointed in the professionalism of the Buffalo Trail division. Just that the support wasn't there. If we had questions, like as a parent council, we were the ones that were reaching out to ask those questions or to get answers to that. So when we received that letter on January 21st, we heard nothing. This was something that we had to figure out on our own. And you know what, when it came down to it, I'm very proud of our parent council and our community. I think we presented a lot of really amazing things to the school board. you know, one trustee had mentioned that, you know, the timing wasn't right for it, kind of ran out of our time, and that's fine. I understand what our situation was, and I respect their decision. But, you know, I would encourage other little schools that are obviously going to start to go through something like we did, because it's going to happen. You know what? Make sure that your trustee is reaching out to you, or make sure the school division is reaching out to you. You know, I think that's huge, especially when you do elect the person that you elect to represent your school in your school division. I think there needs to be wide open communication there, and unfortunately we didn't have that.
And what was the exact reaction from everyone involved when finding out this sad news for Clandonald School?
I mean, it's definitely disappointing. You know, like it's the hub of your community. But you know, the great thing about Clandonald is something like this is not going to bring us down, bring our community down. I mean, the people in our community are so supportive. They are, I think you just rally more together as a community. And I have to say one thing, like, I'm so impressed by the County of Vermilion River, actually, that the way they rallied around us, the way they showed us support. That was amazing, and I liked that, and I think a lot of the community liked that, you know, and it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to see how when you go through something like this, you definitely see you see the people that are gonna turn from you, and you're gonna see the people that are definitely gonna come alongside of you and support you. And we definitely saw that with the County of Vermilion River. And the counselors, the CAO, the Reeve, like just the county personnel has been phenomenal. So that's awesome.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Leith.
Yeah, thank you.
As businesses continue to adapt to the changing times with COVID-19, there are still some positives for one business. In this week's edition of the Shop Local Spotlight, Connor Chan looks at one store's achievement.
7 years ago, when Decorator's Den looked to sell, now owners Tasha and Kala took over, and thus Olive & Birch was born. With a main focus on home decor, blinds, and drapery, it quickly turned from just a passion of theirs to a full-time job.
We both were in other career choices before we took on this venture together. We both actually liked Decorator's Den, that had been in Lloydminster for over 30 years. So it was kind of just a natural progression that when Decorator's Den came up for sale, we decided to purchase the store.
The store shut down for a brief period last March, which only led to a demand for them to start using social media to drive the business up, like their online store and curbside pickup, which saw a need that was met for many shoppers who were using the pandemic downtime to redo their homes.
Definitely people were changing up their homes. They were sitting in this space for months that they couldn't really leave, and yeah, they were looking for new wall decor. They were looking for little things to make them happy, to cheer them up. And we certainly, it continued. So we have to say we're absolutely thrilled and thankful for the community for their support over the last year with all these restrictions and shopping local.
This year marks the 5-year anniversary of Olive & Birch, with yearly hype for their annual celebration, like giving back to customers, such as a fun shopping spree for one winner. But throughout the 5 years, there have been learning curves and success along the way.
You're always constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. Yeah. You're always looking for something new, always trying to create something new and exciting. It's so fun to put a smile on someone's face, yeah, and know that they've walked out with something that they've been trying to find for a long time and add another piece to their home. Yeah. It makes us happy.
And that's it for this edition of the Shop Local Spotlight.
Now here's our Evan Kenny with the first look at your weather forecast.
Thanks, Shelby. Hopefully everybody's having a great day up to this point. Currently 0 degrees here in Lloydminster with that little bit mix of sun and cloud with that wind chill. feeling more like -5 here. And it was actually a nice sunny day here, a little different than what we've seen over this past week here. Taking a look at some temperatures from around the region now, it's 0 degrees in Marwayne as well as in Cold Lake, 1 degree in Lac La Biche, Bonnyville, Wainwright, Provost, and in Edmonton, -1 in Vermilion and St. Paul, and 2 degrees over in Vegreville. As we move over to the Saskatchewan side here now, 2 degrees down in Macklin, 1 in Maidstone, -1 in North Battleford, St. Walburg, and Meadow Lake, 2 degrees in Pierceland, 0 in Green Lake, and -2 over in Isle of Cross. As we take a look at our satellite radar now, we can expect a little bit of precipitation coming through this region, and throughout the weekend there will also be a mix of flurries and rain as we go. Taking a look at North Battleford here overnight, the low is -8 before a high of 5 degrees tomorrow. Very similar in Cold Lake, the low is -9 before a high of 7 degrees tomorrow. As we move on here to our 3-day forecast, the weekend, we've been waiting for it. That 15-degree high on Sunday. It should be beautiful. The wind will make it feel a little bit colder, and as well, Sunday night, there is a chance we could see, like I said, that mix of flurries or rain there, and that will continue on into Monday. 70% chance that we do see that precipitation on Monday. That's all we have for this first weather segment. We'll be back after the break with more news.
Welcome back. 101. That's the number of curbside collection violations the City of Lloydminster observed last month. Now the Waste Services Department is putting out a challenge to residents. Jace Mackey has more.
I'm joined today on Primetime Local News with Karen De La Rosa. She is the Senior Manager of Waste Services with the City of Lloydminster. Now, Karen, the Waste Services Department is challenging residents to be 100% compliant when it comes to their curbside disposals. Can you just first of all talk a little bit more about what this challenge is?
So this challenge is, like you said, we're challenging residents to be 100% compliant to our curbside collection program. So over the past couple of months, we have been seeing some issues with our curbside collection program, violations in terms of not having the right material in the right cart. So we're just challenging residents to be more mindful about what they're putting in their carts and making sure that their waste streams are compliant to curbside collection.
So I was going to ask you to kind of just go through some of what should be in certain things. So starting with the organic bin, what are stuff that should be in the organic bin, and what's are stuff that people should avoid putting in the organic bin?
Yeah, so the materials that should be in the organic bin are they need specifically to be in a compostable bag. Materials like soiled cardboard, pizza boxes need to be in the organic bin. Clean cardboard should not be in there. It should be in the recycling, the blue bags. So yeah, it just helps us ensure that our organics loads are clean. When we have a significant amount of contamination in our organics load, it would need to go directly to the landfill. Our processing facility is not able to process that. So it basically wastes all of our efforts to divert organics away from the landfill.
Now, when it comes to the recycling blue bags, what are some things that people should avoid putting in those?
Yeah, stuff like glass and styrofoam. Those are the things that we typically see in the blue bags. The glass and styrofoam at this time are not recyclable, so those can go into your garbage bags.
And then when it comes to the waste bin, is there some items that people shouldn't be putting in the waste bin?
Yeah, items like household hazardous waste, like paint, for example, those materials don't go into the waste bin. Generally, most of the issues we have with the garbage bins is just overflow. The lids are not fully closed, so we just need to make sure that residents ensure that the lids are fully closed and they're diverting as much as they can into the organics and also into the recycling when possible.
And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but can you go into a little more detail about what happens when people put the wrong thing in the wrong bin and it causes some contamination?
Yeah, for sure. So when we have non-recyclable materials in the recycling stream, it contaminates the entire load. So when it contaminates the entire load, the load cannot be processed by the processing facility, and it would need to be landfilled. So it basically wastes all of our effort in terms of diverting that material. So the same with organics. If it has non-compostable materials, then it would have to be landfilled.
And then starting on Monday, a part of this challenge, there's also a contest component where people to win some prizes possibly down the line. Can you just talk a little bit more about how people are able to take part in that?
For sure. So this contest again is about challenging residents to be compliant to our curbside collection program. So all of our residents who are enrolled in the curbside collection program are able to participate. They just need to partake in the curbside program at least once in the 5 weeks that the program will or the challenge will be running. They will be entered into a draw, and we will be we'll be drawing a name, and we'll be checking our records to ensure that the address is compliant to our curbside collection program. So if they have the right materials in the right cart, if the carts are out by 7 a.m. and if they are spaced properly on the curb.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me today, Karen.
For sure. And Jace, if there's some, if I can add to that too, part of our contest for this challenge is also for the kids. We're doing activities for the kids, so we're encouraging parents and kids to partake in these activities. We really see that educating our young people in terms of how to protect the environment and how to divert waste is very, very important. So we're encouraging parents to help their kids participate in these activities too, and win some fun items for their kids.
Now here are your stock market prices for today.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
New homes were found around the NBA as the trade deadline closed yesterday afternoon. Chris King joins myself to break down some of the moves. Thursday afternoon was the NBA's trade deadline. Lots of moves did happen, and a couple moves did not happen, which I know myself, I expected, one player at least to be on the move out of the Toronto Raptors organization. Joining me today to break down all these deadline moves is Chris King, head coach of the women's basketball team at Lakeland College. Chris, thank you for taking this time and joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Now, Chris, as I kind of mentioned there, one player that didn't move, who I expected to move, was Kyle Lowry, kind of the captain and that cornerstone of the Toronto Raptors team, and has been for a while, but he is a unrestricted free agent come up this summer. Now, Chris, did you expect him to move? And, with him not moving, how do you think that plays out for the Raptors in the future?
Yeah, it definitely sounded like they were shopping him, and I think they shopped him right till the end of the trade deadline. Unfortunately for the Raptors, acquiring assets is hard when Lowry's contract is so high. And knowing that he's going to hit free agency, I think a lot of teams were balking at the price of him. Now, plus side for Raptors fans, I think we can all agree he's the heart and soul of Toronto basketball. So it's going to be nice to see him staying there. And if he decides to stay long term, I think that's going to be great. But we just lost out on some assets, unfortunately, because of that contract.
Now, another Toronto Raptor who was on the move was Norman Powell, a great sixth man going to the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, he most likely will not be starting there, as guards in Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are two great guards there. But I mean, what is the Portland Trail Blazers getting in one of the best sixth men in the league, really?
Yeah, I think they're adding shooting, plain and simple, right? They're going to add someone that can score, and most likely he's going to be in that role off the bench. And hopefully when McCollum and Lillard are off, he can add. I really like the trade coming back for the Raptors there. I like what the Raptors received, but I think Powell is going to help them out. I'm sad to see him go, but sometimes that has to happen.
And he was having a career year. That's another one when it does come to free agency in this offseason. It might have been a tough one for the Raptors to renegotiate for a contract there. Moving on now, probably the biggest name in my mind, at least, that was dished at this deadline was Victor Oladipo, going from the Houston Rockets, where he just spent, a cup of coffee there, very short time, especially with his injuries, didn't get into a ton of games, but he does go to the Miami Heat, who are looking like they're trying to build up for another championship run. Do you like this move from the Heat here, Chris?
Well, yeah, they didn't have to pay too much for a former All-Star. Now, Oladipo hasn't been as good since he's had his major injury, but he's still a really good NBA player. So in Miami, their culture is so good. You insert a guy like that, I wouldn't be surprised to see Miami take off with Butler getting healthy and everyone else starting to play better basketball there.
And Kelly Olynyk is one of the pieces who is moving out of Miami there, the big Canadian. But it is also rumored that LaMarcus Aldridge will be bought out by the San Antonio Spurs. And, a possible destination for him is looking like the Miami Heat. So they're looking to really build around there. And another thing just about Oladipo, I mean, he's going to a Heat team where he's not going to be relied on quite as much as he was with either the Pacers or with the Rockets there, with John Wall in and out as well. I guess just how do you like that sort of three-piece set there with now Oladipo, obviously Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo?
Yeah, I like the piece a lot, and I like the shooters that they have surrounding it. And as you said, you take a guy that's been a superstar and is looking for his next contract. I think he's going to be playing, pressure free and up tempo. And I think he's going to create a lot of things for them. I think that makes them kind of a dangerous threat in the East heading towards a playoff push.
Now, final note here, Chris, the Denver Nuggets are going with depth as they add a number of forwards, Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee there. I mean, how important is depth come down the stretch in the playoffs?
Yeah, I love what Denver did. And let's be honest, Denver's trades all said, we got to beat the Lakers. It's all about beating the Lakers and stopping Davis and LeBron. So I like bringing Gordon. McGee's a shot blocker. I think what they want to be able to do is switch when they play the Lakers and be versatile. So I'm a big fan of what they did. It's giving them a legit shot to get to the NBA Finals.
And Aaron Gordon, another guy who's had a career year when it comes to shooting. And like you said, I mean, he's athletic, good defender, maybe not shut down LeBron James, but could help in that process. Chris, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me. It should be exciting to see, how the NBA season finishes up here.
Hey, thanks for having me once again.
Well, let's take another look now at your evening forecast. Still 0 degrees here in Lloydminster as well. 0 degrees up in Cold Lake. 1 over in Athabasca as well as in Whitecourt and Edson, as well in Edmonton. 3 down in Red Deer, 2 in Rocky Mountain House, and 6 out west in Jasper. As we move over to the Saskatchewan side here now, 0 degrees in Saskatoon, -1 in North Battleford, Meadow Lake, and in Melfort, and then -2 over in Prince Albert. As we take a look now at northern Saskatchewan here, they were under a snowfall warning for a good chunk of this week. I am happy to say that is no longer in effect, so there shouldn't be snow going to northern Saskatchewan tonight. -5 in Flin Flon as well as in La Ronge, and then -4 in Buffalo Narrows and in La Loche. As we move over to northern Alberta here now, 1 degree in Grand Prairie, -1 in Peace River and in High Level, -2 in Slave Lake, and 9 degrees over in Fort McMurray. As we move down south now, 2 degrees in Medicine Hat as well as in Coronation, 3 in Lethbridge and Banff, and 1 degree over in Calgary. Looking at southern Saskatchewan here, 2 degrees in Moose Jaw and Kindersley, 0 in Swift Current, 1 in Regina, 4 in Estevan, and -3 over in Yorkton. As we look now at your national temperatures here, 10 degrees out west in Vancouver, 2 up in Whitehorse, and -12 in Yellowknife. Moving to central Canada here, 3 degrees in Winnipeg, 8 in Toronto, as well as in St. John's, 2 degrees in Quebec City, and 9 over in Halifax. That East Coast is also seeing, does have a warning for some freezing rain overnight tonight. As we look overnight now for our region here, as you can see everywhere, hovering right around that -10 range. There is a chance overnight some more southern towns could be seeing some snow, as you see Provost and Unity there. Taking a look now at tomorrow's temperatures, things will bump back up. As you can see, 8 degrees here in Lloydminster, as well 8 in Wainwright and in Maidstone and in Provost. The rest of the region hovering anywhere from that 4 to 12 degree range there. So it should be a nice day tomorrow, starting off what should be a nice weekend. 15 degrees is the high on Sunday, late Sunday night and into Monday. We could be seeing some precipitation, and more than likely it will be coming on Monday there. As you can see, snow and a high of -5. We are expecting 5 to 10 centimeters as well coming on Monday, but we do have some sun coming, as you can see there, Tuesday and Friday. Things are looking like they should be pretty nice there. That's all we have for the weather for now. We'll be back after the break with more news.
Sitting down with me this afternoon from Lloydminster's Salvation Army is Major Bon Jennings, and he's here to talk about HOP, or Help Our People, which is a local fundraiser that targets raising money as well as food for the Salvation Army's food bank. Thanks so much for joining me, Major.
You're quite welcome. Happy to be here.
So typically you guys would host an in-person event for Easter, but obviously with COVID, that's not the case right now. Could you just give me a little bit of a rundown on the team behind HOP as well as how it's working this year?
Well, this is an event between the partnership of the Lloydminster Co-op Marketplace, the Lloydminster RCMP, and also GOAT 106.1 FM, and they're doing this event in support of the Salvation Army Food Bank here in Lloydminster. So this is an event that they have set up, planned, and are doing really. We're just the partner agency that's receiving the goodness of their hearts and the goodness of the hearts of the people of Lloydminster.
And when is the fundraiser supposed to officially kick off then? Can people make donations before next weekend?
April 1st, Thursday, is the main event day, but I think they can probably go in and make a donation anytime, of course, to this fundraising event, or to purchase some of the items that the co-op have set up at their store location. Most of the items that they have on display are items that we use on a weekly basis to put in our kids' kits, our seniors' kits, and our regular hampers that we give out to people. So these are items that are basically a weekly, a daily necessity for us to provide for people. Or they can give a monetary donation of $10 or $20 that will be used to purchase some of these items as well, or to purchase other items that we may need to put in our food hampers.
And for anyone who might be interested in learning a little bit more about Lloydminster's Salvation Army, where can they go online to do so or make a donation?
Well, we have a Facebook page, Lloydminster Salvation Army. They can also, if anyone with some restrictions because of COVID, if anyone wants to come to our location on 2302 53rd Avenue in Lloydminster, they're welcome to come in and have a short tour of our food bank to see what items we put in our food hampers and how we do things. So people are welcome anytime if they want to drop in with a donation as well. We're open from 9 until 4, Monday to Friday.
And before we go, I know you wanted to communicate some gratitude to your partners as well as just the community here in Lloydminster. So,
well, just a big thank you to for this event from the Lloydminster Co-op Marketplace and the district that they look after here, the Lloydminster RCMP, and also the GOAT 106.1 FM for their support of us, and as well for the support that we are feeling and we're getting from the people of Lloydminster. It's wonderful the support that we are getting through monetary donations of food items, and it's individual businesses and organizations such as this event is made up of that are stepping up and helping us in this time. And most of these events are in support of us. We sometimes don't even know they're happening until we're getting the items coming to our location. So
thanks so much for doing this.
The Lloydminster branch of the Royal Canadian Legion is serving up another delicious meal tomorrow. You've still got time to reserve your plate for the Newfoundland Cold Plate Supper. And your supper is going to include 3 flavors of potato salad, mustard, beet, and vegetable, macaroni salad, coleslaw, roast beef, ham slice, and for dessert, a Rocky Road square. Just $15 a plate. You can still reserve yours now by giving the Legion a call at 306-825-2521. Another delicious meal that you can enjoy and a great way to support the Lloydminster Legion. You've got an opportunity to see some great local talent coming up tomorrow night as part of a live stream show. The Lloydminster Youth Council presents Border Idol. They have narrowed it down to 10 incredibly talented youth that are going to be performing as part of this live stream tomorrow evening. And the show's going to take place live from the new Lloydminster Nissan, but you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. You can enjoy some great performances, and they're looking for your feedback as well so that they can crown the Border Idol. They've got prizes for first, second, and third place. 10 incredible singers. If you want more details, you can check out the Lloydminster Youth Council on Facebook. Easter is getting closer, and you've got an opportunity to win some really cool Easter toys and craft ideas for your kids and support Labus at the same time. They filled an umbrella with Easter goodies. You buy a ticket for just $5 and you could win it all. The draw's coming up on Tuesday. If you want to get more details, you can contact Labus at 306-825-7212. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Well, joining us, of course, for the weekly entertainment panel is Abby St. John. Abby, normally, of course, we talk about some Marvel stuff, which we are going to get to later on, but DC is kind of the headline here for today as they've announced a couple of castings for some big projects, and they've added some big names to some of those projects. Mainly the fact that one that surprised me was Helen Mirren is going to be in that new Shazam sequel. So talk about what we could expect from that.
Yeah, she's going to be, she's recently been cast as the villain, Hespera, in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I'm very excited for this movie. I saw it recently for the first time. I was a bit iffy about it when it first came out because I thought, oh, this just looks silly. It doesn't really look like that good. So I did watch it recently, and it is incredible. It is so funny. It's so good. It's so different from your typical DC film, which is kind of nice to have. So I'm very excited for this one. And Helen Mirren is just iconic. She is an incredible actress, so I think she's going to play the perfect villain for this film. Another casting is Pierce Brosnan. He was cast in The Rock's upcoming DC film Black Adam as Kent Nelson or Dr. Fate. So that's going to be interesting to see. I love Pierce Brosnan. I think he's amazing. At every role that I've seen him in, he's incredible. So I'm very excited to see how that movie goes and how The Rock and him work together and all the other cast members in that film. And then DC actually has appointed a Kevin Feige type showrunner in Jim Lee, who was the chief executive officer for DC Comics itself. So now he is now going to be taking over the DC cinematic universe, just similar to how Kevin Feige has the MCU. So it's going to be interesting. I think with this, DC will become more structured and less all over the place. And I think they'll see a lot more revenue coming in. If they're more structured, they see the success Marvel has had with that formula and what Kevin Feige has done. So if they can create that, I think that DC can become a real bit better competition for Marvel for sure. But it'll be interesting to see what he does and how he takes the DC universe.
And of course, you mentioned all over the place now the new Suicide Squad trailer with James Gunn is out, and of course that just looks one wild ride, and very anxious to see that one as well. Moving on to another reboot here we're talking about today. We saw it in 2005 with the old school TV show Bewitched getting a movie. We saw that, like I said, in 2005 with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell. Now we're getting another movie that's actually going to stay true to the show. So what could this mean for those real true fans who maybe have seen the show from way back when there, Abby?
Yeah, the spinoff really, or the reboot, sorry, it came from the success of WandaVision, because they did represent that show in one of their episodes, and so that's what really sparked Sony to be like, yes, we need a reboot, and they have stated that it will actually be based on the original TV show this time. And the writers are Terry Matalas and Travis Fickett, who wrote 12 Monkeys. So they'll be penning the screenplay. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, considering it will go along with the original TV show. So definitely, like you said, those diehard Bewitched fans, they're going to be in for a treat, because this is actually going to be based upon what they grew up watching or what they have watched from the original TV show. So I'm very excited to see it. I haven't watched the original show, but I love a good story about witches. So I am very excited to see what this movie brings for us.
I think we're a little too young to remember the old school Bewitched show from way back when. I know our parents might be familiar with that a little bit more than us. And one of the last things, Abby, as movies continue to push back, we're starting to see that again. Black Widow now announced their date and how it's going to be on Premier Access now. Of course, that was the big talk. And that was a discussion, of course, we had before on this panel. But other movies are now getting pushed back in the Marvel Universe. So talk about what is being pushed back and maybe what's not being pushed back.
Yes, yet again, unfortunately, Black Widow has been pushed back to July 9th, and like you said, they have made the decision to make it available through Premier Access on Disney+. They had said originally that they weren't going to do that, but I think it's gone to the point where they keep on pushing the movie back, and fans are getting irritated. I'm irritated. I've been wanting to watch this movie since last year, as millions of people probably have as well. So it's very irritating having to have the movie pushed back even further. So I think that's why they decided to put it on Premier Access, because it's just been too long waiting for this film. We were supposed to see it last March, and it was pushed back so many times. So I really hope that July 9th is the concrete, no moving, that's the date that it comes out, because I want to see it so bad. But having that being said, it's been pushed back to July 9th, which was the release date for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That has also been now pushed back to September 3rd. I haven't really seen anything if it's going to be available on Premiere yet, on Disney+, but so far it is going to be released on September 3rd as instead of July 9th.
Well, regardless, I think Marvel fans and movie fans alike will be anxious, and hopefully it'll be worth the wait. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, taking a final look at your weather for this hour tomorrow, a high of 8 degrees. Kicking off the weekend, which should look nice as we have a high of 15 then on Sunday. Sunday night, there is a chance where you could see some precipitation leading into Monday, where there is a 70% chance that we will see some snow. We can expect about 5 to 10 centimeters there on Monday, but things are looking dry for the rest of the week. So here's to hoping.
Thanks again for joining us for Primetime Local News. You can catch us again in the next hour on CITL.